rise forever till ties sever, shine together, rule wherever. Clock ticking now, whenever my worst behavior beats who's unique, the flavor.
Welcome to the first episode of Jarell's Journal. I'm Jarell, and I'm excited to embark on this journey with you. In today's episode, we'll set the tone for what Jarell's Journal is all about. Authentic conversations about life, mental health, personal growth, and shared experiences that connect us all. I want this podcast to feel like a warm conversation over a nice cup of coffee, where we can explore the depths of our relationships, reflect on our journeys, and find solace in knowing that we're not alone in our struggles and triumphs. Throughout this series, we'll cover a range of topics from self-discovery and relationships to managing stress and finding balance in our busy lives. I believe that by sharing our stories and embracing vulnerability, we can find strength, inspiration, and growth. Each episode will feature a mix of personal reflections, expert insights, and relatable conversations with guests who have already navigated through their own unique paths. We'll dive into challenges we face, offer practical tools for self-care, and celebrate the joys of just being human. So, whether you're journaling along with us or simply seeking connection and understanding, I invite you to join me on this remarkable journey. Let's explore the pages of life together and discover the beauties in our shared experience. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Now, let's dive deep to the first episode of Jarell's Journal. All right, let's get it. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about transitions and challenges. Now, I know we've all been there through some type of transition, through some type of challenge, whether it's been the past few days, past few months. We all been there. We all understand the struggles, what comes with those challenges. A lot of the times there'd be, stress. You're just going through it. Once stress hits in, then depression is right behind it. Feeling like you have nobody to talk to, like that's a real thing, and we see it even more today with the amount of suicides, school shootings. Like it's very unfortunate what we see. So I bring that up, and I want to talk about that because I want to talk about the importance of being able to share your challenges, the things that's going on in your life. Like, it is important to talk about that. It is needed. You need to be able to talk about them things to somebody. Even if it's a counselor, even if it's a therapist, even if it's a friend, a family member, a random stranger that you're able to just release and share that story. It is very important, and it's like being able to to get that that monkey off your back, that stress, that heavy weight that's you've been carrying around because you ain't been able to talk to nobody. You got to be able to talk and express, and I'm speaking from experience. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm the only one to speaking about this, from experience, and from the standpoint of not feeling like I had anybody I could talk to, or feeling like I had to do everything by myself. Even now I kind of struggle with that. feeling like I have to do things by myself, feeling like I don't have anybody that can relate to my story, my struggle, the things that's going on, right? And which makes it hard. It makes it real hard, because now you start to wonder, who can you really count on, who can really depend on. And not speaking about it and not sharing will only make that feeling worse. Like, I'll share a story with you guys that happened not too long ago. It happened late last year sometime. You know, transitions and challenges, right? The challenges of my life of trying to maintain my household. This guy's his first episode, so I've had a previous business before called Hard Fitness. Kind of had to put that on the back burner. I'll share that story another time. But we've done a podcast with that called the Hard Hitting Podcast, and I've shared different stuff. I've did YouTube videos or whatnot. But the point I was making is that I've made a video talking about my crash and burns scenario. So that's when I realized it. So I'm going to share with you guys. It's a new day. New audience. We're in a different space now. So I have no problem sharing. That's what Jarell Journal is for. It's for just sharing, so we can relate and we can just talk about it and discuss it. So, getting back to my story, my crash and burn situation, my challenge. One of the many challenges is the one now I want to talk about now, is me, when I felt like I needed to do everything by myself. I was driving Uber at the time. Finding work was a struggle. It was hard just because, one, I was single. I was a single father at the time. I have 2 girls. So, my options are limited. I don't have really family in the area. So, these jobs that are popping up, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to work that schedule that they're asking for. So I was Ubering at the time. I was trying to run a business, the fitness business at the time. I was trying to, try different things. I got so in the mindset of, oh man, I need to do something, that I even started I even started selling insurance. So I'm trying to do 3 things at the same time. And what do you know? When you do too much, your mind will let you know, your body will let you know, and everything's shut down at the same time. And it was hard. It was hard because I really had to really collect myself and think about what happened, why it happened. And like really just sit there and just reflect. And the more I reflect, the more I put stuff, in perspective, I got to understand why I moved the way I did, why, I was trying to just go after it, go after it every time. And it was enlightening. It helped me open my eyes to things that I didn't know was there. It exposed me and it woke me up. So now, after experiencing that, I started to open up more. I started to talk to, friends and family and actually share how I was feeling, what I was thinking. Because I didn't in the past. I didn't like to share because if I tell you something and then you tell me something like it's not going to help, I don't want to hear that. Like, what is that going to do for me? Like, I already know what you're telling me. So, that was my mindset. But now, after I started sharing, I started talking to people, and just even if they didn't have anything to say, just them actually listening, right? Just them actually listening and just being there and supporting, that was enough. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I appreciate you listening because, I felt like I didn't have anybody to share to. You ever got, what I'm saying, you ever got to the point to where I'm sure it's happened to a few of y'all. Y'all let me know if this situation happens to y'all, to where, you sharing something, something that, you being vulnerable, you letting yourself open up, right, to, a certain someone or a group or whatnot, whatever the scenario is. And, because you feel comfortable. You feel comfortable enough to be yourself and just like, speak your truth. And you don't get the response that you was hoping you're expecting. Like the response you get is like they kind of like brush you off, like, oh, yeah, okay. Like how does it make you feel? Like you sharing something and they kind of like brush off, oh, and then move on to a whole different subject at times, or just don't take it and be there for you like you want them to be. That's happened to me plenty of times. I've shared something and I can tell that they didn't care. And it's crushing. That is a crushing feeling. And it makes you not want to share. And then you experience that enough that you go into a cycle. And you go from not sharing to potentially crashing and burning to, okay, I'm gonna start opening up, I'm gonna start sharing, I'm gonna start being vulnerable, till you find that one who you believe in and you trust, and you feel that they really want what's best for you and to hear you and to understand you, and you decide to be vulnerable and open up just to get a response to where they really not caring or listening to what you're saying. And it's crushing. It's crushing. But with that being said, that cannot, do not let that, cause you to not share anymore. Do not, don't feel that you have to shut down, because I've been there, like I said. And what I've learned through that experience is that they just exposing themselves. You really get to see their true self when that happened. So treat people, where they're at. If some people feel like, they only care when it affects them, you know what I'm saying? make that mental note. You don't have to treat them dirty. You don't have to treat them different. Just meet them there. Know that, hey, if I have something going on, I know I can't go to this person. I can go to this person for other things, but stuff like that I need to vent, and I know I can't go to that person anymore. So move on to whoever's next that's in your group. Try to find that person who genuinely respects you and cares about what you have going on and wants to listen. That's the most important. People say, "Oh yeah, I want to listen. Yeah, share. Yeah, this and that." Then soon you start talking to or they're getting their phone. Yep. Like learn. Yeah, once you see that, that's a red flag. Once you see that, get out immediately. Immediately. Okay. It's it's not a good fit. I'm not even going to harp on that no more. But I just want you to really understand that. Okay. So everybody's going to experience changes. Everybody's going to experience difficulties. There's going to be different transitions in your life, and you need to be able to embrace the change. It's inevitable. Change is inevitable. If you stay stagnant, then like, what are you really doing with your life? Because in order for you to become better, in order for you to grow, you need to change. You need to change mentally. Most times you need to change physically. And you need to change spiritually. And it's completely different. You have to be willing, because nobody can force you. I'm it's the path that you choose. Everything that you do in life, you choose. You choose to decide what to say, what to believe in, how to move, who to be with, who to be around. And that's the same thing with change. Regardless of what your career is, regardless of what your life situation is, there's always a change that's going to happen. Now, you can learn, you can grow from it, and you could allow it to, help you be a better person, a better individual, a better human, a better, business person, whatever it is, a better student. You can help that build you up. Or you could just be defiant and you can say, hey, I don't change for nobody. That's not what I do. I'm the same. I've been this way. I'm always going to be this way. And nobody can change that. And you can get left. You get left behind. You feel like nobody care. And then now you're going down that downward spiral of depression and feeling like, nobody cares about you. Everybody's against you. When they've been trying to teach you, they've been trying to help you out. And the whole time, you haven't been willing to embrace change. You haven't been willing to face those tough challenges that hit you right in the face. Like, you have to be willing to go through and fight those battles. Nobody can fight them for you. You have to fight those battles. You have to be willing to stand strong. If not, I'm sorry, but life's going to be hard and life's going to be rough for a long time until you do that. Okay? So, with that, you need to learn how to manage uncertainty and fear, which I know, trust me, I know that is a hard thing to do. fear, uncertainty is fear. It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And of course, if we had the option to choose the easy street, why wouldn't you choose it, Why wouldn't that be, the first option? But that's just not how life is. That's not, you know, that's not what happens. That's not reality. Reality is that we deal with uncertainty and fear a lot. We do that a lot. And what do you do? Do you fight or you flight? Now, my experience with me, I had to learn to withstand it. I've been in a lot of uncertainties, and I've experienced, enough fear with different situations growing up in my life. And the best advice that I can give you is to focus on the things that you can't control, okay? Focus on the things you can't control. Everything else that you can't control, don't worry about it. Don't stress. It's going to happen, with or without you. You have no control over it. So, focus on what you can control, because that is that's what can help you get you out of whatever situation you're in, or get you in to a better situation that you're in. Either way, that is what I do, and that is what has been helping me stay as stress-free as I can. Now, I'm not saying that I'm stress-free, but I am, at this point, as close that I can be by doing so. Things that are out of my control. All right, this happened. What's next? Like, recently, my iPad was on the floor, that I forgot was on the floor. And I stepped on a corner, like barely stepped on a corner, and cracked. So now my screen's cracked on my iPad. I could get mad for a quick second, but what is that gonna do? All right, cool. Next day, computer crashes. The whole system is corrupt. I'm about to lose everything that I had on my computer. There was a lot of uncertainty because I dropped it off to the shop. I was like, oh, please be able to salvage. Please be able to save my data. And he called me back. I was like, yeah, no, the whole system is corrupt. We need to reboot everything. You're potentially going to lose everything. What do? Uncertainty and fear. A few years ago, got served with custody papers. My ex-wife was serving me to take the kids away from me. Uncertainty, fear. What do? You embrace it. You face it head on. You don't run away. It's happening. You run away, it's still going to be happening. So you might as well face it head on. Control what you can control. Couldn't control being served. Couldn't control having to go to court. I controlled what I could throughout the whole process. 2.5 years later, the judge rewarded me. It was on my side. I was able to keep custody of my kids. So I understand change. I understand uncertainty. I understand fear. I understand having to transition and move through certain elements. I understand challenges, which is why, I'm sharing my story with you guys, and I'm speaking with you, and I'm letting you know my story to know it's going to happen, but that doesn't mean give up. Because one, you're strong enough to fight. You're strong enough to fight. And that was my case. I was felt I couldn't give up. Especially my kids. I couldn't give up on what I believed and what I knew was true and what I wanted. And I fought. I fought and fought. And that outcome worked out for me. And I continue to fight and fight now to keep up with my household, to pay my bills, to, grow a business and be successful and all this good stuff. I continue to fight. Now, with that being said, being able to embrace and be able to understand that there's going to be uncertainties that I can't handle, or not I can't handle, excuse me, that I can't control, and being able to just speak, like I said, being able to talk to people and know, okay, I can talk to this person. Oh, okay, they did this. I can't talk to this person. I know, and now I was able to build a better support system. So now I have my go-to people that I can talk to, that I can rely on, that will help me. And that is what I would suggest to you guys. Build that support system, regardless of who it is. Like I said, it could be a friend, family. It could be a random stranger that you just, started to become friends or whatnot. You need a support system. Even if you're going to a group, it could be counseling. It doesn't matter. You need that support system that someone who you could lean on and they can lean on you to where you're going through stuff. You feel like, I'm having a rough day or having a rough week, or, this keep happening. I have you have at least somebody you can talk to, you can vent to get that off your chest. Because even if you don't get an answer, sometimes just saying it helps you realize that, okay, well, now I'm saying it out loud. Now I'm saying it to people and try to explain it. This makes sense, or this is not making sense, so I need to stop thinking about it that way. Or sometimes they'll give you good advice to have you rethink. It's like, okay, I didn't think about it that way. So now you're able to calm back down. You'll be able to put things in perspective. So building that support system is extremely important. It's extremely important. And like I said, it doesn't matter who you talk to. Just make sure they're the right person. Vent them like you do anything else, and you be able to realize and figure out who is for you and who is not. And then you start building your support system that way, and you feel that some of that stress is starting to melt off of you because you have somebody that you can count on, you can rely on, you can talk to. You're not alone anymore. Even if Jarell's journal is that outlet, I'm here for you. I understand, and I want to talk, I want to vent to different people as well. So this is why I'm using this platform. Feel free to use this platform to do the same. I'm here for you. This community that I hope to build is here for you as well. We're a village, we're a team. We help each other. Okay? So the next point I want to hit on, while building your support system, very important, is self-care and well-being. Okay? Because it's hard to build a support system when you're not taking care of yourself, and or they're trying to give you advice and you're not listening. You just out there just doing whatever you want, and you're not really taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. You're gonna lose a lot of people doing it that way. So focus on self-care. Go to the gym if you're not. Exercise. It don't mean you have to pick up weight. Everybody think, pick up weight. I'm gonna be all bulky. I'm gonna be rah, 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 rah. That's not how it is. You can run, you can cycle, you can pick up weight. It is really a good stress reliever. CrossFit, boxing, eating healthy. You don't even gotta, just either just walking and you're just eating healthier. Watch what you're eating, meditating, journaling. That we're doing now. Like I said, seeking professional help. Like if you need a counselor, if you need a therapist, if you need a group, that is self-care. That is making sure your well-being is being taken care of. You can't do anything if you're not taking care of yourself. You can't help anybody if you're not helping yourself. So